Welcome back to thrivedrumming.com. My name is Tom, and today we're going to do our third video in my series introductory beginner videos, or let's not say beginners, anybody that wants to refresh this or hasn't been shown this type of material before. And now we're going to talk about different sounds you can get out of this drum. So I'm not talking about 1,001 sounds today, but I'm just talking about basics. So we're going to talk about what this drum can do when I shift my sticks from point A to point B. Reminder, I'm using match grip, German grip, okay? And generally, to get kind of the driest sound, the most articulate sound, and also maybe not the loudest sound, but generally what's accepted to be the best place to strike a snare drum. It all depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to get a nice soft sound that's distant, then the center is probably not the best place. But the center is generally where we do most of our playing. So the center will give you this type of sound. I think we just do it with one stick. Okay, just to demonstrate a sound. If I just do some playing. Okay, pretty dry. If we move from the center, let's say we go towards the rim, let's say we're off center a little bit. So I'm coming in, let's say a couple inches. The sound's going to open up a little bit. You're going to get a little bit more ring. I do have one moon gel on this drum, and I'll take it off in a second. But so here's the sound here. I'm going to play softly first. All right, so when we're off center, we start to get a little bit more or less of that dry sound and a little bit more ring. Okay, let's take the moon gel off, and you should hear even more ring. Okay, so we get that as opposed to. All right, now moving even further from the center, let's come to the edge. And this can be helpful sometimes with dynamics. If you really, really have a very soft spot in your song or in the piece of music you're playing, you really need to be very soft. Sometimes playing towards the edge or at the edge can do that for you. That's generally not where you're going to whack the drum really hard. You're generally not going to do that. You're not going to strike at the edge for a very loud sound unless you're looking for some sort of effect. But some people also use sort of an offset striking position where both hands are sort of towards the edge, and they probably have some teachers that show them this. It's very valid. I've seen it used to great effect where they'll start a nice soft buzz roll out here on the edges, opposite edges, left hand towards the edge, right hand towards the edge. And see, just by moving to the center, I then got a bit drier sound. It also got louder. So, and I really didn't increase my wrist strokes at all, my wrist height, to get the extra loudness. It was just simply, and you can do that from the edge as well. This is a little bit more open. It's a little pinched when the sticks are close together up here. And then when you're coming in from the outer. I remember in one video I saw on YouTube, a young drummer, forgive me, I don't know his name, I'll insert it. He was doing a cover of Toto's Rosanna, you know, the famous Jeff Porcaro part. And he did a real quick like roll from the outside. It was so smooth and buttery, but he just nailed it. He just, you know, it was fantastic. All right, so we covered center, off center, edge, and this can work back this way too. You can play in here, but I don't like bringing my elbows back behind me. I'd rather move out. Okay. All right. Some other sounds might involve the rim. All right, so I'm going to switch sticks because I don't want to chop these all up. So for my drum set playing, this is also one of my other favorite sticks. It's the Steve Gadd Vic Firth Steve Gadd stick. And you can see what happens when you use them for a long time. The black paint comes off. Sorry I don't have a fresh new pair. But that's also because a lot of times if I strike the rim out here, there are generally some sounds you can make utilizing the rim. You can just play the rim itself. Okay, just by playing the shoulder of the stick on the rim. So there's a new sound. Okay, and that is less common. It can be used to great effect in solos. Two of the more common rim strikes would be rim shot, okay, which is when the shoulder of the stick, right about here, right about at your I or your V on your Vic Firth, or figure it out on another brand where it's going to strike, because you want to be consistent. It's going to hit the rim and also the head at the same time. You hear that crack? It makes for an extremely loud noise, and you're going to get the sound of the rim and the head. Okay? And you want to develop that. That's going to be a huge part of playing drum set, is getting good, consistent rim shots. Okay? And then we also have one of the other sounds involving use of the rim and the stick is what's called a cross stick. And a lot of people will use the front end of the stick with the tip, so you don't have to turn it around your hand, or you swing it around in your hand and you use the butt end, the butt of the stick. This is going to get the thicker sound, and I like doing it over top of a lug. So lugs are where your tension rods are, lug casings, tension rod. Okay, and you want to hit this about 2 to 3 inches down. You need to experiment and find the good sound. Now, the way you're going to do this is, as you would do with your match grip, your thumb and your first finger are holding the stick. Take the fingers off, your middle finger, ring finger, and index finger. Take them off. You're going to set the stick about 2 to 3 inches. Try not to let the stick basically lie on the head. Then put the first finger, index finger, and thumb around it. And those fingers should be touching, and then you're going to bring the front of the stick up while keeping the back of the stick on the drum. All right, so hopefully you can see it over here. I'm not taking my hand off, and then I'm going to come down and strike the drum. Okay, that was a good sound right off. Why? Because I've been doing this many times. So there we go, cross stick. If you're not in the correct position, you're not going to get that nice, hollow, or thick sound. You're going to get something, see, it's dead. You don't really hear. If you're too far over the edge, you also lose. So I'm going to bring the stick back slowly, and you can hear the different sound. So you can tell there is a sweet spot. Okay, so that's a cross stick. Most right-handed drummers, when they're sitting behind the drum set, are going to do this with their left hand. I think that is a good collection of different sounds. We got a lot of variation we can make from this drum. It contributes to your ability to make a wide array of music in different situations. You're going to be called upon to have this in your toolbox per se. So you want to learn these, and I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, thank you so much. The next video we're going to start talking about using our feet, sitting down behind the drum set. And as beginners, we want to learn drum sets. So we've talked about our hands, we've talked about where to strike the drum, how to strike the drum, different tones, and we're going to move on to the feet. Thank you so much. ThriveDrumming.com.